Hello, for number 2 on homework number 10 video problems, we were asked, a pond is to be stocked with a species of fish. The food supply in 500 cubic feet of pond water can adequately support one fish. So the pond is nearly circular at 20 feet deep at its center and has a radius of 200 feet. The bottom of the pond can be modeled by y equals 20 times x over 200 squared minus 1. Okay. Now, what we want to do here is simply draw a little pond. This will be the y equal that 20 times x squared over 200 squared minus 1 equation. And this is going to be when y is equal to 0. So we know that this is 20 feet and that this is 200 feet. So when x is equal to 200, y comes out to be equal to 0. So we know that the axis for this will be, that is the origin right there. And we know that when y is equal to negative 20 feet, negative 20 feet, x is equal to 0. Because that would be the y-axis. In other words, just sketch this in here. Okay, now what we want to do is find a way that we can figure out the volume if we were to rotate this one simple y equal 20 times x squared over 200 squared minus 1 equation about the y-axis. So we want to go about the y-axis. So what we want to do is that we know we're going to have to integrate in a circular motion. So we know we're going to have something from like 0 to 2 pi because of the simple fact that it's going to be part of a sphere. But we know that we don't have to integrate all the way up and down the y-axis or the theta and spherical coordinates. So we know all we need is a 2 pi because all we're going to be doing is integrating little circular rings all the way up and down from x equals 0 to x equals 200. So we know we're integrating from 0 to 200. We know we need a 2 pi. And we know that we need an x as well because this distance here is going to be x. So 2 pi x. Now, from here, we will simply put in the y equals 20 times all this, but we're going to put a negative sign in for reasons that will later be clear. Not so much as going to put a negative sign in as going to change the order of this part. So 1 minus x squared over 200 squared dx. Now, from here, we want to make it simpler to set up and integrate. So we know that we can take the 20 times the 2 pi and move that out. So we'll have 40 pi times the integral from 0 to 200. And then we can distribute the x into here. We'll have x minus x cubed over 200 squared dx. Now we can integrate and find an answer. So we'll have 40 pi times make it simpler to read. Okay, now we will integrate all this and we will get 40 pi times x squared over 2 evaluated from 0 to 200 minus x to the 4th over 4 times 200 squared evaluated from 0 to 200. Now, we will get 40 pi times 200 squared, which is equal to 40,000 but then you have to divide it by 2, so you get 20,000. Just confirming it with my calculator over here. Okay, so we have 20,000 right there. We want this, which would be 200 to the power of 4 divided by 4 times 200 squared, which we end up getting 10,000. This is why I added in the minus sign in the beginning, is because if this was opposite, you would get a negative volume, and that's not what you want. Which then equals 400,000 pi feet cubed. Now, since we have a volume, we can put this into a better number. In other words, do 3.14 blah 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 times the 400,000. And you get 1.256637.1 feet cubed. Now, we know that one fish needs 500 feet cubed of water. So we take this, the volume, the amount of water that we have in feet cubed, and divide it by 500. And that gets us 2,513.3 fish. But we know we can't have a third of a fish, so we know that there is only allowed 2,513 fish. Unless the other fish are carnivorous and they eat that 0.3 fish. I mean, it's possible. And that'll be all for my video on number 2 of homework number 10, video problems. Thank you.